This is Driving Planes.
And then after you get out of college, you start coaching at Hughes as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. You said you had no idea what you were doing.
No, I really didn't. I'd always been a receiver on the opposite side of football, and so I learned as I was going. And it was fortunate enough we had some pretty good athletes on defense. And made it a little bit easier transition.
When that happened, I know you said before you reached out to some folks in the state to get some guidance.
Yeah.
To prepare yourself for that.
Yeah.
Who was really influential in that?
Yeah, probably. After I got the head job the second year, I think I coached a year or two, and then finally I figured out I really need some help. And, Barry Lunny Sr. was at Fort Smith Southside, and I always looked up to him. And so I got a chance to visit with him and kind of pick his brain. And probably the best advice I ever got as a coach is from him about being simple and being good at a few things.
Yeah.
Because I remember asking him, or he asked me, how many plays can you run as a coach? We got 200, man, or more. We can run anything. He said, how many can you run perfect? I said, well, none. He said, I'll tell you what, get your 4 or 5 plays. Get them where you can run them perfect, and you can block it against any defense. And once you get perfect, then go ahead and add one more play. Some of the best advice I ever got was that. And that's kind of really been my approach, since that time.
And as you say, you stuck to that. Some fans like to criticize, going, "Why are you running up the gut all the time? We see this now."
Yeah.
What they don't know is you're blocking things differently, to play, for things, certain design.
Yeah.
You're trying to lull them to sleep in the setup plays.
Yeah.
But it's that simplicity that has allowed your quarterbacks, your running backs, your offensive linemen to have some of the most successful years that Auburn's seen in recent time. I guess kind of take us through what your philosophy is as far as offense and how it's transitioned with Chip Lindsey.
Yeah, we want to execute better than anybody. That's really our number one goal, and we want to play fast. We want to play faster than anybody in the country. And really, when I first got to Auburn, it was a huge advantage. We were the only team in the SEC that was actually playing fast and all that. And now the teams that used to gripe about it and safety and all that, they're all doing it. So everybody's doing it. So it's not as big of an advantage as it once was. But from the standpoint of execution, you have to execute better. So used to, when we were the only team doing it, you didn't have to execute at a high level. Now you have to. So really, that's what it is. But as far as philosophy, football's a simple game, and you've got to play to your strengths, and a lot of times you got to run plays to set up plays. And just from a fan standpoint, it's all about scoring points.
Yep.
And obviously that's our ultimate goal.
You obviously pretty much every team, you have your best seasons when you have your best quarterback. Whether it's Paul Smith, Mitch Mustang, Brett Lashley, Cam Newton, Nick Marshall, and I would say you've got that now in Jarrett Stidham.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with him coming back for a second year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those expectations are higher. People want to look at the schedule, but because you have him, how do you feel going into your 2018 season?
Yeah, you just said it. To win a championship, you got to have a big-time quarterback, especially in this league. And I've been blessed to coach some great quarterbacks, and Jarrett is definitely in that conversation. And the fact that he's coming back and understands, has a year under his belt in our league with his teammates, it's a great feeling. We're going to be able to do a lot of different things than we did last year.
The big thing that came up, I didn't quite understand it, but I wrote about it because I'm a beat writer, but him not being able to, quote-unquote, audible. Your offense has never really been lined around that. Now they look at the sideline, you guys make differences, make difference in the call right there. And then you've mentioned that you're going to give him more power this year. What does that encompass? Are you guys going to put a type of audible system in there for him this season?
Yeah, we've always had the ability to give our quarterbacks more flexibility. But at the same time, last year he was still trying to learn the offense.
Mm-hmm.
He had a new coordinator. He had new teammates. He was in a different league with different defenses. And towards the second half of the season, he did have more flexibility than he had, the first year. But this year, he's got a great understanding of everything. and really feel like he's in position to take more control out there. And I know he's ready for that. And from a coach's standpoint, I know we're ready for that. And we feel like that'll give us, an advantage.
You get out of Hughes. I don't want to say get out, but
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I was gonna say,
that was 5 years, and
I
I had a really good experience there.
Yeah.
I learned football. It was I loved my kids. I mean, some great kids there that I still stay in touch with today. And so it was a really, really positive 5 years.
You had a running back there on that runner-up state championship team that, if I recall, when you were going through there and they were naming the field after you, you said he's the best running back you've ever coached. And I mean, you've coached Darren McFadden, you've coached Trey Mason, Mike Dyer.
Yeah. He was one. There's no doubt he was one of the best.
Sometimes it's not about that exact talent.
Sometimes it's relevant to the situation. But man, there's no doubt about that. We had a lot of good players, and didn't have very many of them, but they could all play.
Yeah.
And making that run for the state championship in 1994 is one of my favorite memories, really, of any team.
Yeah, it's your first time. You get your first taste of it.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
You don't have your little red car, obviously, anymore.
No.
How did you sell that? You get rid of it? What did you do?
Yeah, so we had one car as a little red hatchback Toyota. We drove it until it was about done, and I come home one day, and it wasn't there. And I asked Chrissy what happened. She said, well, a guy came up to the front door and asked what we're doing with it. And so we're looking, to sell it or whatever. Well, Chrissy traded a fax machine even for that car. And it was a used fax machine. And then Chrissy told me that we got the better end of the deal. So I just went with it. And but that's a true story.
That's funny. Was this in Hughes or was this?
It was the first year we were at Shiloh.
Shiloh,
yeah.
Now, going back to Hughes, I think I've heard you say this before, and this is why you're in a car with me, because I want to know about this stuff. But you changed your life. I remember you saying, or maybe someone told me, at the 50-yard line one day when you found Christ.
Yeah,
take me through that.
Yeah, what I did, I rededicated my life to the Lord. I got saved when I was 13 years old. But that's when really I rededicated my life and kind of got my life in order and started looking at coaches as my ministry. And, from then on, everything changed.
You consider coaching kids your ministry?
Oh, 100%. There's no doubt.
It's not about how making yourself feel good, but you've been a college coach as long as you've been a high school coach.
Yeah, close.
It's right?
Close, yeah.
When you see kids from high school, now even college, that have gone on and done amazing things in their life outside of football or even inside of football, how does that make you feel, knowing that you were at least a little bit part of that?
Yeah, that's really the joy of coaching. I think if you ask any coach that's been coaching a while, that you feel like you could help someone reach your goals and dreams or make a positive impact on them as a man. That's a great feeling, and it's a very important responsibility for coaches, because as coaches we got great influence, and I've always believed use your influence in a positive way, and coaching is a big part of that.